All right, today we're going to look at how to complete a word ladder activity. This is an activity where you start with a given word and you're going to change that word a little bit at a time until you get to the end and find the one final word in the activity. And so in this case, we can see at the bottom here, we're starting with the word cow. And then we're going to look up the first rung of the ladder. You see the number one there. It says a small bed that can be folded and put away. Now, that's a little bit of a tricky clue. So it gives us a hint here as well. And it says change the last letter. Well, if we're only changing the last letter, that tells us that the other letters are going to remain the same. And so we can go ahead and put those other letters in place there. And now we only need to figure out the last one. Now, if you know the word, a small bed that can be folded and put away is a cot. You can go ahead and spell that there by putting the next letter in place. If you're not sure and you're struggling to come up with what the word is, it's okay to try some of the different letters in that place. K, a, b, cob. No, that's not a small bed. And you can work through the letters of the alphabet until you get to the answer there. All right. Once we have that one, we're going to look at the next word. This is a pan used for cooking. Mom makes soup in a big, and you might already know pot. Well, we want to check our work against the clue that's here. It says change the first letter. So we're going to keep those last letters the same. And we can see that that's part of the ought word family. And so pot, p, ought with the letter P makes sense. And so now I can confirm my guess, my initial thought of it being pot by spelling the word there. Moving up to the next step, an animal that lives with a person. Cat, dog, I'm not sure. So let's look at the hint here. It says change the vowel. Well, if we're changing the vowel, that means our consonants are going to stay the same. So in this case, our first and our last letter. Now, we know that this middle letter has to be a vowel for two reasons. One, the clue tells us that there's a vowel there. And we also know that every word needs a vowel. And right now we have two consonants. Now we know it's not an O, and so we can try our other vowels here. P, at, pat. Well, that's not an animal that lives with a person. P, et, a pet. That is. All right, so now we found that answer. We can move on to the next one. A deep hole in the ground. This one's asking us to change the vowel again, which means we can keep our consonants the same. And we can go through our vowels one more time. So we can try our A, P, A, T, pat. That is not a hole in the ground. It already is an E, so we don't need to try that one. We can move on to the I, P, it, a pit. A pit is definitely a hole in the ground. And then we're going to get up to our final step on our ladder here. It says a farm animal with a snout and curly tail. And you may have guessed that that could be a pig. There's a clue here with a pig in the picture. And our hint tells us let's change the last letter. So we can keep those first letters the same to check our guess here. P, I. And if we add a G, that will give us the word pig there. And so that's how we know that we have the right steps of the ladder. Now, the ladder that you're working on may have different words, but it should still work the same way. So make sure you're reading the clues, make sure you're looking at the hints, and you should be able to make your way through. Good luck.